Today I'm going to talk to you about the Indus Valley Civilization, and I have a couple artifacts to show you as I'm discussing. The Indus Valley Civilization, or sometimes called the Harappan Civilization, was located along the Indus River and the valley in that area. It was not found until the 1920s, which makes this still a relatively new civilization that we have found, compared to other Eastern Hemisphere civilizations that we know a lot about. So there's still a lot to learn about it. With that being said, the Indus River civilization was the largest of the Eastern Hemisphere civilization. They were very well known for their city structure and their advances within that, which means that we think that they were very good mathematicians and architects. The first artifact that I'm going to share with you is, and this is a heavy one, the Himalaya Mountains and Kush Mountains. Okay? These mountain ranges were important to the Indus Valley civilization because they provided a nice natural geographic protection barrier from invaders. Okay? The mountains lied along the northern and western side of that civilization, and below them they even had the ocean. Okay? So they were very secluded and hidden and really protected, which made it a great area for them to start to grow their civilization. And they also had the Indus River, which provided all their nice, nourished land. The second artifact that I have for you is grid paper. The reason I chose grid paper as an artifact was because, like I said earlier, their civilization cities were very well structured. Their two most popular cities were Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, which is where they get their name, the Harappan civilization. These cities were well structured. They had advanced draining systems for their time. They were consisted of 1- and 2-story buildings, which was really a good thing because they were that advanced to be able to build on top of their original structures. They were also very precise, very accurate, and all the buildings were made to the same, almost the same exact way, which means that they were very precise, had great architecture. They also had granaries within the city, which means that they were able to keep in their food supplies and store food. All these reasons make the civilization very very advanced in math and architecture. The next artifact I have for you is a pyramid, but this is not just an ordinary pyramid. This pyramid is labeled with the caste system. The caste system was a social structure that the ancient civilization used and is still used up in recent years. And what it is it's a social class consisting of 4 major groups. The top group, top class, being the most sought after, they're the most high power. The lower class might be the larger of the groups, but they're the bottom class. Now there's even another class that was called the untouchables, that they're so low, the castaways of the people, they're located below the pyramid, so they are even below the bottom group. Alright. The fourth artifact that I have for you hold on, I have a monsoon. Monsoons were very important to the Indus civilization for their climate and crops. Okay, it was a very important thing in the region. In A monsoon is defined as strong prevailing winds in a direction in different times of the year. So there's dry monsoons and there's also wet monsoons. Now in the winter months, there would be the dry monsoons, and there still are. There's the dry monsoons that come from the northeast through Asia. In the summer, they have the wet monsoon season, which is winds that are coming up from the south from the oceans. Okay? They relied heavily on that wet monsoon season for their crops during the summer months. Now the thing about that is, if the monsoon season came late, then that affected crops negatively because they weren't able to grow properly and they weren't able to grow to their fullest. If the monsoons didn't come at all, that means the crops couldn't grow because they didn't get a sufficient amount of water. On the other side of that, if the monsoon came and it lasted too long, there was a chance that the crops would flood and be ruined again. So they needed a very, very perfect monsoon season in order for everything to go well, for their crops to grow well. In the meantime, when they didn't have their monsoon season and they were using up their water supply, they could still rely on a little bit of water from the snow melt from the mountains. Okay? Historians also believe that because of a lack of monsoon season, or a lack of wet monsoon season, that could have been a potential reason for the demise of this civilization. It was an extended drought. The last artifact that I have for you is an Indus seal. Now this seal is important because what it is an inverse engraved stone, basically a stamp. So what they did with this was they used it to identify ownership of goods, and they used it in trade. All right. Each stamp or seal was meant for different purposes. So everyone had their own seal. Just like today we have the Nike swoosh or the Adidas logo. Everyone had their own stamp. The reason that we know that they are avid traders was because there's been Mesopotamian seals located in the Indus Valley, and likewise there's been Indus seals that were located in where ancient Mesopotamia was. So we know that they were traders, we know that they traded within their civilization to help the economy, and we also know that they traded with other civilizations. Well, that is all I've got about the Indus River civilization. Hope you enjoyed.